Hi, I'm Rachel Peake, and I'm the stage director for the Edmonton opera production of Marriage of Figaro. The Marriage of Figaro is the story of Figaro and Susanna, the woman that he loves, and it's the day of their wedding. So they're preparing for the wedding and their life together. But the Count, who is Susanna's employer, is more interested in Susanna than he should be. So he begins to get in the way of their plans. And you may know the character of Figaro because he also appears in the Barber of Seville. A lot of the music in Mozart's Marriage of Figaro is probably music that you've heard before, even if you're not very familiar with the opera world. You'll be surprised that you'll be humming along to yourself, because it really is some of Mozart's greatest hits, and actually some of the greatest hits from the opera canon. What I think makes this production unique is I bring a bit of theater into it. So I really put the characters and their relationships at the forefront, along with the music, of course. And I thought it was really interesting that in the time of this piece, it would be really unusual for servants to be the main characters. So we're playing with that idea by kind of figuring out how we can make them outsiders and how we can make them a little bit different from the opera-going audience in order to capture what Mozart had in mind. I think this piece is particularly relevant today. I think it's really interesting the way it gives us that empathy with people who belong to a different part of society than our own. And I also think it's really interesting and important the way that the women work together in order to have a voice and in order to get what they need out of a situation in which they don't have a lot of autonomy. So I think it's a really interesting conversation to be having. For fans of Edmonton opera, you're going to see some really remarkable singers returning to your stage. Philip Addis was Don Giovanni, sang Don Giovanni and Don Giovanni. Caitlin Wood was the Countess in Cantori. And Peter McGillivray was here doing Hansel and Gretel last season, and before that he did La Cenerentola. So they're going to be joined by a really incredible team of singers and actors. There are different kinds of humor in this piece, and it all adds up to be this really fun, bubbly, romantic comedy. So we have some really great physical comedy, and we've got some really great physical comedy performers in the piece, but there's also some really witty, smart, bantery kind of comedy. So there's a little something for everyone.